A lot of people on the internet train in a way that only works if you are on performance enhancing drugs. If you are a natty lifter like yourself or like myself, training that way is just going to get you hurt. Let's talk about the best way to train for real, drug-free, natural gains. Yo, what is up everybody? My name is Cyrus. I'm a natural lifter. I've been lifting for 15 years now, on and off. I've taken breaks as long as like a year, but in between that, I've spent 10 years of my time researching this topic, everything from fitness, nutrition, recovery, optimization, sleep, diet, lifestyle, habits, everything in between that covers fitness and how to bodybuild as a natural lifter. Now I take all that experience and everything I've learned over the years and I teach skinny natty guys under 30 how to build drug-free muscle with just 2 workouts per week. So there's a couple things I want to talk about in this video. Number one being the steroid trap. So the issue is that a lot of guys who are on steroids, well, not just a lot of guys, typically everybody who is on steroids has a way higher capacity for volume, meaning that they can recover way faster than you can, way better than you can, which means they can handle way more volume when it comes to their workouts. So in other words, they can do more sets than you, they can do more reps than you, and they can train more frequently than you can as well too. So the actual steroid trap here is that when you're a natural lifter and you try to copy the sets, reps, and workout routines that these guys are doing, you are going to be bottlenecked by your ability to recover. It's as simple as that. As a natural lifter, you can't handle the same amount of workload and the same volume that they can, which is just going to lead to chronic fatigue, plateaus, and possibly even injury for yourself if you are a natural lifter. So the issue with this as well too is that a lot of these programs and workout routines that you find online, a lot of them are aimed at the general public, but a lot of the stuff they teach is actually what worked for them. Like it's what worked for that fitness guru or that YouTube influencer or whoever they might be. And the issue is that they're teaching what worked for them when what worked for them happened to be whatever sets, reps, and workout routines they were doing while they were on gear, while they were on steroids. So if they try to teach you guys how to do that stuff, it's only logical that you're not going to get the same results as them because they were on gear and you're not. They're teaching the kind of stuff that works when you're on gear. Now, when you're a natural lifter, you need a whole different approach. You can't just replicate what they were doing because they have a different ability to recover than what you do. So as a natural lifter, what you have to do instead is you have to prioritize recovery just as much as your training. Because like I mentioned, you can't recover as quickly as some of these guys who are on gear can. So what does that look like? Typically, the industry standard is that when you train a specific muscle group and you train it like hard enough, of course, is that muscle group's going to need about 48 hours in order to fully recover before it's ready for your next workout. So that's exactly what I teach in my program. That's exactly what I teach my clients is that as a natural lifter, you got to give yourself about 2 days in order to recover before you can come back and hit that muscle group again. Also, like, don't forget that your muscles don't actually grow while you're in the gym. What happens when you're in the gym and you're training hard is that you're breaking down your muscles. You're challenging your muscles and you're telling your muscles that they need to grow. Your muscles actually grow while you're at home, while you're sleeping, while you're resting, primarily when you're sleeping, and that's when your muscles actually grow. So that's why recovery is just as important as your training is. I teach all my clients that your training and recovery need to be 50-50. You need to spend as much time on your recovery as you do with your training if you actually want to see real natural muscle growth as a natural lifter. So at this point, like, you might be confused, like, okay, well, if I can't train as much as these guys, if I can't do as much volume, what do I need to do instead? Instead, if you're natural and you want to stay natural and you want to see gains as a natty lifter, you need to focus on intensity and progressive overload. So you would cut the volume down. The sets and reps, for the most part, can stay kind of the same. For reps, you want to be, if you're doing compound movements, you want it to be anywhere between, like, I would say 6 to 12 is okay. For compound movements, if you're doing any type of isolation work like bicep curls or tricep extensions or calf raises, any of the smaller muscle groups, easier like isolation exercises, you can bump that number up, I would say anywhere between like 10 to 15 or even like 10 to 20. If you're doing stuff like trap work or if you're doing stuff like neck curls, you definitely want to be in like the 20 to 25 rep range, stuff like that. Forearms, same thing, like 15 to 20 is pretty ideal. Biceps, triceps, 10 to 15 is pretty good. But like I said, you want to focus on intensity here instead. So rather than just pumping volume and doing like 8 sets, 9 sets, 10 sets on an exercise, what you want to do is you want to do like 1 to 4 sets, and you want those sets to be really good sets of like 8 reps and higher primarily. And when I say focus on intensity, that means I want you guys to get as close to muscular failure as you can without putting yourself at risk for injury. So, quick example, if you're bench pressing and you don't have a spotter, you want to push yourself hard, but push yourself hard enough to the point that you can still rack the weight. Like, you don't want to get stuck there and have that bench press like about to kill you. However, if you have a spotter, then it's different. You can push yourself as hard as you can. Just make sure you have a spotter you trust who's going to pick up that bar and not let it crush your face. So basically, it's about finding a balance of how hard you can go without putting yourself at risk for injury. If you're by yourself and you got no spotter for the day, I typically recommend my clients to use machines instead because, well, on machines, it's easy to push yourself without getting hurt because if that weight gets too heavy, then you just drop it. It's different if you're like squatting or deadlifting or bench pressing because there's no one to catch that weight for you or help you get that last rep in without you, fucking dying. So there you go. So now I want to talk about ways that you guys can like spot a bad program. If you guys are online and you're looking at these gurus' YouTube channels and they're trying to teach you or like sell you a workout routine, be wary of what they're teaching you. If they're teaching you, to do like, I don't know, like over 20 sets for like a muscle group per week, that tends to be pretty high. And I mean, you could probably bump that number down if you're a natural lifter. So look out for things like that. If they're not teaching like any type of progressive overload at all, then be completely wary of that as well too, because as a natural lifter, progressive overload is the single most important thing that you could probably implement into your training if you want to grow. And if they're not teaching that, then they're probably just teaching you to go into the gym and get a pump, which might work for them if they're on gear, but it's not going to work for you. You actually have to get stronger if you want to grow. Now, another thing to watch out for is all these programs that promise you like super unrealistic results. Like if someone's telling you that you can gain 10, 15 pounds in like 30 days, like that's pretty unrealistic. Like, yes, you can gain that amount of weight, but if you did it naturally, it's all going to be fat. Like it's just going to be excess fat. Like it's not going to be solid muscle. It's going to be way too much fat. Pretty much what you're looking for as a natural lifter is you can expect to see about 1 pound of muscle growth, sometimes 2 pounds of muscle growth. If you're natural. If you're a beginner, you can expect to see 2 pounds of muscle growth. Sometimes in rare cases, even like 3 pounds of muscle growth if you're new to this and you're seeing like those first couple pounds of beginner gains. Next thing I want to talk about is the proper way to train. If you're a natural lifter, the most important thing I would say is to focus on like the compound exercises. That's going to be anything typically with a barbell. It's going to be your bench press, your squat, your deadlift, RDL, trap bar deadlift, lunges, I would put pull-ups in there as well too, pull-ups, dips. Focus on those hard, difficult, like hard to do movements first in your training. And then if you've got energy left or you still got time during your workout, that's when you would throw in like your isolation work, like stuff where you're targeting specific muscle, like the smaller specific muscle groups, like your calves, your triceps, or you want to get a little bit extra work in and hit your chest specifically. Then you would do like cable flies or, things of that nature. Trap bar, or not trap bar, but trap work. Like all this stuff is towards the end of your workout. Start your workout with the compound lifts because they're going to give you the most bang for your buck as a natural lifter, number one. Number two, they require the most amount of focus and concentration. And number three, they require the most amount of effort as well too, because these are significantly harder than isolation work. Next thing is, like I said, focus on intensity. So get as close to failure as you can every single time. Pretty much every single time you get close to failure, you're sending signals to your muscles and to your body that they need to grow. If you're not getting close to failure, then you're just getting a pump in. You're not actually telling your muscles like, hey, here's a reason for you to actually get stronger and actually grow. Next thing I would say is keep volume like sensible. You still want to get in enough volume to the point that you challenge your muscles and you worked out hard enough for them in order to actually grow. But you don't want to go so fucking hard and do so many sets and reps that you're going to be out for an entire week. You want to be able to work out and come into your next workout, if not fully refreshed, at least like not too crazy sore that you can't even do your next workout. So be logical, be sensible about your training. Try to create workouts and program routines that actually make sense for you as a natural lifter. Next thing is prioritize your rest. Get 8 hours of sleep. Implement active recovery on your off day. So don't just sit around on the fucking couch all day. Do things like walk your dog, ride a bike, light swimming, I don't know, tennis, play basketball, ping pong, any type of light exercise that isn't super fatiguing. You pretty much just want to get some blood flow pumped into your muscles to speed up the recovery process. Next thing I want to talk about, if I'm going to look at my talking points here, is I want to talk about why less is often more as a natural lifter. Like I mentioned, you don't need to be in the gym for hours, for hours every single time you go to the gym. Personally, I only train 2 times per week. And when I do go to the gym, my workouts are half an hour if I'm locked in. If I'm not locked in and the gym is busy, or I'm talking to people, or I'm taking extra long rest breaks that day, they can be 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour if I'm being like a fucking lazy piece of shit. But most days I can get in and out of the gym within like 30 to 45 minutes. And that's all I need. Like, that's all I need as a natural lifter to stimulate my muscles enough to actually grow. But don't think I'm going in there and I'm like fucking around. Like, I go in there, I'm working out hard, I'm going to failure on every single set. I'm doing things like implementing supersets and giant sets and circuits in order to speed up my workout. But those are things I can teach you on a later video. Basically, guys, if you want to do this, if you want to be natural lifters and you want to do this for the long term, for the longevity of it, you want to be healthy but also look good, then implement these things. I think I want to leave with just saying, train smarter, not harder. Don't just accept every single thing you see online. Question it. Question the reality of it. Question if it's really going to work for you. Look at that influencer, look at that guru you're paying attention to, or whatever video you're watching, and think, is this guy trying to teach me like a blanket routine that's just going to apply to everybody? Or is he teaching me something that's actually going to work for me as a natural lifter? If you go into it with that mindset, you will get way better results. And you'll find techniques, exercises, and gurus out there who actually care about you and actually care about your fitness. And they're not just trying to chase views, go viral, or just mass sell a workout program to everybody that watches their channel. So that's it. Hopefully you guys learned something. I spill pretty much everything I've learned over my 15 years of lifting into these videos as a natural lifter. So if you guys appreciate it, drop a comment. If you got any type of question at all, just hit me up in my IG DMs. I'll drop the link in the description for this video. Just DM me the word natty. I'll answer any question you may have. If you are looking for something way cooler, more in depth, more detailed, I have an exclusive private school community where I teach guys like yourself, guys like myself, skinny, natty guys under 30 how to build drug-free muscle with just 2 workouts per week. And I teach them how to go from A to Z, where if A was you being a skinny little twig with no respect, no strength, no muscles, girls don't like you, I teach you how to go from that to a strong guy with actual muscle, an actual decently sized physique, the proper knowledge to create their own workouts, create your own workout programs that work for them, as well as diet, nutrition, recovery, optimization, sleep. I teach workout hacks. I teach grocery list, everything in between. If you guys want to check that out, I'll drop the link for that in the description below too. You can check that out for free. Yeah, no, I think that's it. I'm going to go eat something. Peace out, you guys. See you on the next.